here. We have a very exciting panel treat for you today in honor of Women's History Month. We asked 4 powerful female leaders, both in real estate and in their communities, to come and join us and share a little bit more about their experiences so you guys can all learn and be better realtors from the conversation. So to kick us off, we do have someone we'd love to celebrate, our first capper officially of the year, Tim Majka. Tim, why don't you come on up here? Come on up here. He gives us the nice wave in the back. Tim, congratulations to all your success. Week after week, you're announcing more listings over and over again. What is it that you have to share with the group that maybe can help inspire of how they can get themselves capping as well?
Honestly, I just every week do a newsletter. Put your listings in there. If it's not your listing, if you're doing an open house, put that agent's open house in there. If say you're doing that open house, just keep driving home that proof of success that you're out there doing it. And just be consistent every week. Just send out that newsletter. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm happy to help you out with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim. Big round of applause, guys. Big round of applause. Oh, quick picture. Yes. We're out of practice. Good to celebrate you. All right. Congratulations. Let's take a look at what we have coming up next. Oops, everyone can act surprised because it went twice. So let's celebrate our people here for their closings for the week. Congratulations, Shanti, Marilyn, Sheridan, Brandy, Eileen, Shannon Jones' team, Jasmine Duran, Live Distinctively, Stelios and his group, the Green Team, Moon Kim, Isaac Osborne, Alice Billman times 3. Good week. SD, Penny, Anthony, Lester, Mark, and Angel. What does that equal? Again, act surprised, but this is powerful. $18,311,707 for the week. Congratulations, you guys.
Hey, Halley, is there any chance that you guys can turn off that music?
Let's celebrate and have our sponsor feature come up. Michelle, thank you with All Moving. Why don't you come up and tell us a little bit more about your company? Thank you for the delicious sandwiches we had in the back. You're good.
Are you over here?
Yep, you're good.
Hi, everybody. I got to meet some of you guys at your Christmas party, and I look forward to taking part of that in that next year, this year as well. As she said, All Service Moving. We are here as your preferred moving vendor in the office. I would like to get to know every one of you. We've been around in business for over 20 years. We've been in Los Angeles location for almost 3 years now. My district manager, Alejandro, is over here. Hi, Alejandro. All of your clients' moves will be coming from his branch. He will be delegating the most seasoned moving crew available for the day of your client's move, because realtor referral clients are always marked as VIP. We want to make sure they're VIP, and then we have our movers know that they're VIP because it's a relationship that you guys have and that we have with you. And we want to make sure that that extremely stressful move that comes with that dream house that you just sold them is a really nice, smooth transition. And Alejandro will make sure that that happens for your client. Got great reviews. We've been partnered with this office for just about a year or so now, and it's been a lot of fun to get to know some of you. We do a full service moving experience if your client needs. That means packing, unpacking. We just did a full day of packing, and then tomorrow we will be transporting that client down to their new home in Arizona. And so we can do the boxing if they need to. If not, we just pick up the boxes and move them wherever they're going. If they need storage in between, we have storage available in our warehouse that our office is in Bell Garden. Like I said, that's where all of your moves will come out of. We have a realtor referral program that offers 10% off. It's up to $200. On long distance, we can do a little bit better, but hey, it's a nice little savings to have anyway in this day and age, right? So when somebody needs a move, and I don't usually wait because people will go and look on their own, and sometimes you don't know what they're going to end up with, you guys. We had a teenager accidentally leave her phone in one of the boxes from her room, and a couple of weeks later, this was from another company, A couple of weeks later, they tracked her phone last paying to a storage unit about an hour and a half away, along with 6 other families. So people got kind of desperate to make some money during COVID years. And so a lot of helpful businesses popped up that you guys probably have heard some horror stories with moving. Anyway, we want to make sure that that stuff doesn't happen to your clients. It's all of their personal items. So it's super important for us to transport those safely and quickly. Yes.
So just 2 questions. It sounds like you do go out of state, in state.
Yes.
And then where you guys kind of factor in price range wise? Are you kind of middle or are you high end?
So we have, let me start with this. We've got 2 locations in Seattle, 2 in Portland, 1 in Los Angeles, and 1 in Phoenix. But we do move nationwide as well. We'll fly them out there, get the truck and bring them back. Alejandro, as far as like the price point, is there a way that you come up with your hourly rate?
Well, the long distance are basic flat rate trucks, and then after that is a short fee of a mile after. But regarding your question, we used to be on the high end of pricing, but we recently got our rates down.
Okay.
And the affordable rate right now. And we're trying to do our best to get the reviews and so we're a pretty reputable company.
Yes.
So price range, we're in the affordable area.
I will tell you guys this too.
Big important distinction.
You know what? Honestly, it's worth it. There's a lot of people that can't move themselves and that don't want to move themselves. It's the worst part of the whole experience is that it's like the third most stressful thing you can do. It really doesn't, it's really not as much as people think it is. Average real estate realtor move, because it has to do with a higher end client, usually buying and selling a home, not just from apartment to apartment, is about $2,200. You can get a local residential move around the 2,000 range, you guys. It's not that bad and it's so worth it. Once you use a moving company, you'll never want to go back. Ask them early on too. It's just another great referral that you can give your client and have that in their back pocket just to get that off their plate. It just takes $100 deposit and they can move that date if they need to, but it's just great for them to have that, not to worry about. We also, I want to say this, being in business for 20 years, we take good care of our people. We don't hire day labor people. We have full-time employees that have healthcare and 401k options. This is the way that we take care of our movers. So yeah, we might not be the cheapest because we want to make sure that we have a quality product, and insurance is expensive too, and gas and all of that. You guys can imagine how that all adds up. Anyway, I just want to let you guys know we're here for you. We've got the 10% off coupon. My personal cell phone is on that card right there. If you send somebody, text me and let me know, because what I'll do is I'll make sure that I'm in touch with Alejandro, that we have the VIP moving crew ready for them, that they've had their discount applied. We'll ask them how they heard about us too, and then they'll give your name so we know who to thank for that. And I know who to circle back with and just say, hey, your client booked and they're moving April 26th, or we'll just be in touch with that. But yeah, ask them early. Is there anything I want to add, or somebody has a question?
Question.
Yeah, it's a great question. Oftentimes there are vehicles that need to be moved. I think we subcontract that out. Is that correct, Alejandro?
Like I said, logistics are right and the price is right. We definitely subcontract. I've done it myself where I subcontract other companies to do so. But we've actually had moved vehicles.
Okay.
Last year we moved a pretty expensive Corvette. The customer wanted to go with us and wanted us to move it. Obviously, we don't carry the full insurance for such jobs, so there was some adjustable. We spoke. We spoke with the customer. He was okay with us having us move it, just under some, having them sign some waivers, stuff like that. But he did go with us because he did want us to be the ones moving it.
Yeah, we do have a reputable product. Yeah.
Definitely get us a contract.
Are there any other questions? Okay. Yep, please, the quote number and getting move set up is that 844 number. And then just go ahead and shoot me a text when you send somebody our way, and we're happy to help. So
Great, Michelle. Thank you very much. All Service Moving. Contact them for your and your clients' moving needs. Again, 10% off. She left some coupons around. Let's celebrate our new listings to the market. We have the Shannon Jones team has a listing on 20270 East Appleton Street, unit number 5 in Long Beach. It's listed for $390. It's a 1-bed, 1-bath. Live Distinctively has a listing 2110 Radnor Avenue in Long Beach. So it's for 1.525. It's a 4-bed, 2 2.75 bath. Jeff Loftus has a listing 3317 Lees Avenue in Long Beach. It's listed for 1.414. It's a 4-bed, 1.5 bath. And Rich Rodriguez, I know, just listed this duplex. I don't see him there in the back. 2000 Junipero in Signal Hill. It's listed for a $925, and it's a duplex. Julia DeVere has a listing 6653 Shirley Avenue out in Reseda. It's listed for $1,050,000. It's a 4-bed, 1 and 2 extra half baths there. Sure done. 226 broker this Friday. 4249 Torrington Ave or Drive in Woodland Hills. It's listed for 1.26, 4-bed, 2-bath. All right, opening it up to the room. Anyone have any listings coming to the market, coming soon, listings they'd like to pitch, buyer needs? Richard.
Los Angeles, it's a 7,215 square foot piece of lot, but it has 1,000 small little square foot building on it, like little office space or whatever. It's just a shell. 1.3 million in Los Angeles. It's in a prime area, mid-city, Pico, San Vicente area. We'll have photos by tomorrow.
Super cool. Claire has that 10 unit too. Do you want to pitch that one in Long Beach?
Long Beach. We have a couple offers on it, but too low for the seller. So no, we got a lot of people that are interested. So yeah, we have all the financials. If you need it, just let me know and we'll send them out to you.
That's great. Congrats. All right, who else? I think someone else had their hands raised over here, Tim, and then yeah.
Hi everyone. I have a new listing that's going to be going on the market here in about 2 days. It's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath condo on Ocean at 1537 East Ocean Boulevard, number 3. It's a smaller building. There's only like 4 units in this particular building. I think there's like 11 units overall in the community. It's going to be got beautiful hardwood floors, nice updated kitchen. The living room overlooks Ocean Boulevard. You've got a little bit of a peekaboo ocean view. It has a 1-car garage, and it's going to be on the market for $599,900. And if anyone's looking for open houses, we're open for agents holding that open. And I still have an active listing at 1-bedroom, 1-bath for $299,900 at 225 West 6th Street, number 515. And still have my listing on Hungerford that's still active. That is a 2-bedroom with additional family room, so it could be almost like a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house for $799,900, and that's at 3603 East Hungerford Street in Long Beach, just a little bit north of Lakewood Mall. Thanks, everyone.
Great. Congrats, Tim. I love that. Anyone else? Brandy, we got a couple there in the back, and then Joni.
I have one in Orange coming up. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. List price is going to be $1.45. It is $2,190 for the square footage inside. 2 stories, newer built in 2000. So, and a really nice part of Orange. So hopefully you guys have buyers.
Great. Thanks, Brandy. Joni.
I have one coming on the market in the next week and a half. The lovely sellers are doing the last prep work. It is South Dakota neighborhood. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,400 square feet. And the list price will be about, I'm going to borrow from Penny, 1.1-ish.
We always love a good ish.
Yeah.
We always love a good
ish. Might be another $100,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
That per agent or per appraiser?
Yeah.
The ish.
Yeah, the ish. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Listings to pitch, buyer needs. All right.
Good job, everybody.
Good job, everyone. Next up, I'd love to welcome up our panel, our panelists. If you guys can come on up here, we have something really special for you today. The experience both within the real estate community and outside of the real estate community on this stage here today is amazing. Feel free to sit wherever you want. There's no order. There's no order here. Let's put this right here and move the camera. Thanks. You're good. You're good.
Forward and take these seats. We can't hear you back there.
Yes. Thank you, Allison Van Wig. So first off, let's just introduce our panelists. Thank you, Simon. And yes. Yeah. Anyways, starting over here from your left to your right, I want to introduce our amazing panelists. Thank you again for taking your time. We have Kendra Miller over here in the corner. Kendra. Yes. We'd love to welcome Allison Van Wig, if you guys have not met her. Allison. And then we have our lovely Michelle Harding. Always good to see you. And then we're welcoming our newest agent to the office, Stephanie Stansel. Welcome, Stephanie. So ladies, just to kick us off here, because I'm sure you guys all started many different ways in the real estate industry for whatever your journey may be, but what really inspired you to get into real estate, and what was kind of your biggest challenge when you first got started in running your businesses? Feel free to just open up, jump in. Yeah.
So I actually started because I was a member of a church, and the church didn't have a lot of homeowners. And at the time, I was a salesperson for a major corporation, and I thought I could take all that knowledge and negotiation skills and problem solving, solution finding, and help my people get into homes. And so I got my license in 2006. And at that time, the market was doing what the market did. And so I made a decision to stay in the corporate arena because at least I was getting a very good paycheck. And then towards the end of 2016, the opportunity came back, because it was never if I was going to pursue real estate, it was when. And so at that time, I was able to go ahead and move forward. My biggest challenge was I stepped into it from coming from a sales manager. So I had my business established and the way of doing things, and I had to start over as a brand new agent with the prospecting and the grunt work and the calls and all that. So I was a little naive, I would say, when I started and realized that this is a different way of going at it. And I had to begin over and as a salesperson in a new industry. So that's it.
Clean slate.
For a majority of you guys, quick question. How many of you, this was not your first career? It was in real estate. Yeah, all of you, right? I love how your head is shaking now. Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. Like I looked around my sphere at the time. I was like in my mid 30s and was like, none of my friends own real estate. So I was in a fashion career and I was doing well, but it had hit my ceiling in that fashion career. And it was almost like being a sales rep. I had to drive around and had to be in the room for an hour and was paid by the hour. And it was a really good job. It's called being a fit model. So you design the fit and feeling of the garment on the body. And it was a cool job. It was a lot of travel. I knew a lot of people, which helped me with my sphere for real estate, but I can only be in so many rooms at a time. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I've made as much money as I can in this career. And I've been in all these rooms and worked for all these companies. What's next? And I had been flipping houses in San Pedro and other areas in Orange County and a little bit in Long Beach, and had owned real estate since I was in my 20s, like 22 is when I bought my first property. So then I'm in like 35 and I'm in this other career, and I was kind of like, but none of my friends own properties. So maybe I should help them own properties. So then I was just had that sort of pivot where I'm like, maybe I should be a realtor. Like maybe I should help other people do what I've been doing. Cause I had been building equity and doing the flip thing, kind of long flips, like live in them, fix them up, design them, and then I'd sell them fully furnished. But I just always used a realtor. So that's how I sort of got into it, was like, maybe I should just be one of those and help other people, do that.
From experience, is a lot of people get started in experience, good or bad.
Canada too. So she's like, I don't know why you haven't done this yet. Like, what are you waiting for? And I'm like, I don't know. Just maybe I should give it a whirl. here we are.
Always been self-employed. So my next step was finding something I could be self-employed at and be okay with it because I knew I didn't want to work for somebody. So I loved homes, and that's kind of how I got started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a corporate job and was climbing that corporate ladder. And my husband and I were in a car accident on Christmas Eve one year. And I was out of work for about 6 weeks at home recovering. And while I was there, I realized, at home that I didn't really know my community. I hadn't done the volunteer work that I wanted. I wasn't taking, Spanish classes like I wanted to learn Spanish. And realized that to continue climbing that corporate ladder was going to involve a lot of travel, potentially moving states, moving countries. It was a big company. And my husband and I wanted to have kids and just realized that we needed to find something else. And my husband literally looked at me and said, well, you like looking at open houses. And that was that.
Many of your lives pre-real estate really prepared you for that first step, though, right? It gave you the skills, the people skills, the business skills to be able to implement that. What's maybe one thing that you learned that really maybe pushed you through to that breakthrough point? Either your first transaction or maybe taking it from 5 transactions to 20 in a year, Allison, or anything like that. Maybe what's a breakthrough moment for you guys?
I think the farming and the door knocking. I think that would be, and actually listening to people. Like everybody has an opinion in real estate. So I'm sure you've talked to 20 people if you're new in here, and they've all told you, oh no, don't do that. That doesn't work. Or don't do this. It doesn't work. Stop listening to everybody that doesn't sell anything. Just say, okay, Michelle over there is selling something. What's she saying on the phone? Or take them out to lunch. Or the people that are selling something say, what do you think the top 2 things are that bring you business? Stop listening to everybody else. I'm going to tell you it's farming, and the other 20 people in here that are going to say, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Farming works for me too.
Or it doesn't work for them. Like what works for me doesn't work for Allison and won't work. It's something works differently for each person too.
It's consistency as well. No matter what you choose, you have to be consistent at it. So don't tell me you farmed for 3 months and it didn't work, because you have to do it every single month. It's the same with cold calling. It's like if you cold call for 3 months and then you give it up for 3 months, guess what? There'll be no business because cold calling doesn't work because you're not doing it. So it's like stick to something with consistency. Choose 5 to 6 things that you like. Door knocking, farming, cold calling, open houses, whatever you like. 6 activities and stick to them consistently. But that was the breakthrough, is consistency.
So key, because then you're getting measurable, repeatable results, right? When you try something, you throw something at the wall. If it doesn't all stick, how do you know it doesn't actually stick if you don't try it one more time?
What I see is the new agent, like, well, we're going to farm for 3 months and then we're going to give it up. Now we're going to focus on cold calling, but we're only going to do it for 3 months because now it's not working. So now we're going to do open houses. So we do 6 open houses. And we're not consistently calling the people that come into the open house or keeping in touch with them. So open houses don't work. So you go from one thing to another and decide it doesn't work after 3 months, instead of just saying, hey, I have to do 6 things. You cannot go on Instagram and Facebook and expect the phone to ring. But you need to be on Instagram and Facebook to publish that house. So part of advertising, but it's not the only thing. It's one of your 6 that you chose.
It's a whole picture of the business. I don't think any one of you are like, this is my only income stream, right? I know many of you guys have your farms and your communities and your people that you nourish, your past clients over and over again, right? So shifting gears just a little bit, let's talk about some of the industry challenges that you may have had in the industry, being a powerful female leader in whatever capacity. So what are some of the unique challenges that maybe you guys have faced, and really, how did you overcome them?
So when I was new, and so you've never sold any real estate. You've never done this before, but I had a whole career selling something. So what I tell people is capitalize on who you are and what you did. So it took me to really understand that even though I was new here, I wasn't new to life. I wasn't new to selling. I wasn't new to making sure having people say yes to me. So you have to, and then the other piece of it is know your stuff. I mean, we are in this industry. We are responsible for helping people get into the biggest purchase they'll ever make in life. It is an investment that they live in. It's a big deal. Know your stuff. Study your stats, study your job, know what it means to really do and be a great agent. Because if you don't study your stuff, then what happens is you have a whole lot of problems. And so mine was just, I when I first started, I just left the corporate arena and I invested in all the designations and all the certifications. So I have like all this alphabet soup behind my name. I just wanted to know it all. I did. I probably have like, I have probably 10 certifications and all this designation because I wanted to know. Yeah. And so but it helped me know my stuff. So I just think it's just really educate, know what you're doing.
To piggyback on that a little bit, I love the know your stuff thing, especially with the young agents. Like right now, I'll be at a home inspection or something, and the buyer will be like, I didn't expect you to be at the home inspection. I'm like, oh, I'm at every home inspection. What are you talking about? They're like, my last agent never came to my home inspection. Or they'd open the door and they'd be outside on the phone the whole time. It's like, I want to be here because I'm listening to everything he's saying about this, and then I can help you with that. Or like, I have become a pro on things like piping or stucco or understanding the roof. I'm not giving you counsel on how to fix your home, and I'm not going to tile your bathroom for you, but I do have a great understanding on repairs and things like that, which has become really cool as being like a house mom. You do become a house mom when you're dealing with a lot of first-time buyers, which in the first 7 years of my career, definitely first-time home buyers was so important. And now they're all listing with me. So important. If you're new, grab onto those first-time buyers. Like everyone's like, I just want to focus on listings and they're brand new. I'm like, good luck with that. They're going to have to buy soon if they sell, and then buyers become sellers. I don't understand that mentality, and I'll never, ever, ever support that. First-time buyers are gold. They are great, and they will remember you for the rest of their life. And those have become my my dish cycle. They're just washing and selling, washing and drying. They're buying and selling, and they're referring me to everybody that they know, and they love you for the rest of their life. So those first-time buyers are so important. But yes, knowing your stuff, so important. I think that the more we know as agents, the better they can lean on you, and the more trusted you are in their hands. And you're better than any of those other younger agents coming out or newer agents coming out that frankly don't have the attention span, kind of like what Allison was saying, when they don't want to even commit to learning they don't want a door knocker, they don't want a cold caller, they don't want to even be online, or they give up on things really quickly. A lot of agents are not willing to invest in learning and knowing their stuff. Their attention span now, they're saying, what is 8 seconds online? Like, that's not going to work in this business. You have to be invested. Yeah. You have to know a lot about homes. You have to know a lot about marketing. You need to know a lot about the business in general. And that's a lot of different facets. It's not just us as agents and how we're marketing ourselves. It's about homes in general. It's about landscaping. It's about like what's happening in the neighborhood and community, and then everything in between. It's a lot, and it should be.
Both of you guys mentioned confidence, right? And I think as women, we face a unique challenge that doesn't always equate to the same as any other gender. And that's, a higher probability of having what we lovingly call imposter syndrome, right? About earning, getting to that point where you feel like you're in that place. And so, it's that feeling like you don't deserve that success. You don't deserve to be there, right? Have you guys ever encountered any of those confidence issues or things that you've done to get over them on a listing appointment or a conversation that you've had to have?
I mean, I had a fun one yesterday, I love being told to calm down, especially when like it's 2 guys on the other side, and I'll use character names because luckily none of them are in this room. but I hope they're watching because I don't care. Calm down. They're not performing on time. They're not closing on time. We're closing late. They told me we were closing early. I cleared out my staging. I was sick as a dog last week. I did not want to go there and load up my Jeep full of furniture. I did not want to do this, but I had to because I'm like, oh, we're closing early. This is so awesome. Thank you so much. I gear up the sellers. We might be closing early. Everyone's getting ready. We're closing early. I load up the Jeep. I'm sneezing all over myself. Luckily, there's no one there, and I'm able to do this while I'm sick. I don't have to see anybody in person, you know? I'm dragging out this stuff, and then I get the stager in for their stuff, and I get home and I'm just like exhausted, and then all of a sudden I get this like happy-go-lucky email like, and we're funding on this day, and we're doing this on this day, and we're gonna go close on this day, which is 2 days late. And I'm like, so I kindly respond, but professional, but also stern. Why are we closing 2 days late when you guys just told me, 4 days ago that we'd potentially be closing a week early? I had the stager, mess up everyone's schedule, get everything out early, yada, yada, yada. And now the sellers, I have to go do this fun call and say, actually, guys, we're not closing a week early. We're actually closing 2 days late now. And I have to explain to them why. So I'd like you to explain to me why, lender and buyer's agent. Just go ahead in the email. And I'm being told now to calm down. And that's because I'm a woman. Why else, if it was Simon on the other side, no one would have talked to you like that. I get that all the time. And I handled it really well. I wasn't even a phone call. Like, I'm getting hot right now just talking about it. Yeah, 'cause now you pissed me off. Ears are red, cheeks are red. It's not acceptable behavior. You don't get to tell me to calm down just because I'm younger than you or because I'm a woman. You're the one not performing on time. How is that acceptable? Let's bring it back to this original question. Why are we closing late though?
Yeah. The words that are used are so impactful to not only us, but our clients.
I'm speaking to you like a man. Can you speak to me like one too? If that's what we have to do.
How about Allison and Kendra? Where do you get your confidence from? Where does that come from?
I don't know. We were just.
Allison and I were just saying that's not been an issue. I will say that I actually think being female was super helpful for me because I started my career in my early 30s.
That's amazing.
And I was knocking doors. And I always thought being female and young was helpful to getting people to answer. I actually think
female and young is helpful.
Yeah, I think it was super helpful for me. And when I was going over these questions with my family in the car last night, I don't know if it was my husband or my son or someone was like, well, why is it just about women need to be confident? Men need to be, helping being confident too. So I don't know that I haven't had those experiences where I felt like I was an imposter or I, was treated differently because I was female.
Good to hear.
I do think the more you know your stuff, the more you're confident you're going to be. You were talking about education, and it's like, if you want to feel confident, then you need to know your stuff. But how do you sell a product when you don't know your product? Like if you look back and you think about the car you bought, some of you bought it because it's like, hey, this is the right price. But probably others bought it because they researched the car and you were sold on the car. So if you don't know your product, how do you sell somebody on real estate? You don't know your product, so you can't say to them, hey, you're going to save, your property taxes and your interest is tax deductible. It's like you could, that brings your payment down effectively. Here's a net sheet. Here's a buyer's net sheet. Here's a seller's net sheet. You should be able to really be confident. The more you know, the more it brings your confidence.
So important. The more you know, the more that brings their confidence. Everyone feels that way, right? When they get that empowerment behind them, whatever that means for you, education, support, knowledge of the market, that's going to lead you into that next listing, or it's going to lead you into the next appointment.
You have to know your product to sell your product. So don't think, oh, I'm going to sell $1 million home and not educate yourself on real estate. Your chances of selling $1 million home are going to be much better if you've educated yourself, whether it be reading, podcasts, Audible, whatever. I listen to all of them. And it's like you learn something from everything.
Juggling real estate as a business professional is something that can be challenging. Some of you guys have children. Some of you guys have dog children. Both of you guys, what are some tips and things that you're doing in your life to help make it happen and to keep going and keep producing? Schedule.
Oh my goodness. Your schedule, time blocking. And learning how to say no in the right place. Because sometimes we take on things and get, especially us girls. Oh, Stephanie, will you do such and such? Yeah. And then I think about it, and that was a no. That was a strong no. And then because you said yes, you got to do it. Right. And so I think we really need to, before we answer, say, hey, I'll get back to you. And then give yourself an opportunity to process what was given to you, and then give your answer. But it's the schedule. You got a time block. You really have to pay attention to your schedule. If not, you're gonna take on a lot of stuff, and I won't even go further with that.
Having yes be a knee-jerk reaction is something a lot of people do.
Like I have my gym and my yoga, and like those are time blocked just like my business appointments. So those are deal breakers with or without. Yeah, like they happen just as important as a showing or a listing appointment. Like they're the same. So they're just as important for my mental health as
same thing, calendared out.
Calendar
Make sure that
it happens no matter what.
And yeah, some things can be mixed. Like, if you're going for a walk, you take your phone with you.
Yes.
And you can answer the phone in the middle of the day while you're walking. So you can countermingle some of the stuff, but I think you have to calendar it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Your appointments, you calendar, you got to calendar yourself.
Does anyone else in the room have young kids or kids? Yeah. Yeah. Or kids in general. It doesn't matter. They don't have to be young. Yeah. I mean, I will tell you that I don't know my kids' cell phone numbers because it's just programmed in my phone, right? Like I still can't remember them, but my kids can tell you mine, nothing because they grew up at backseat of my car, right? Oh, this is Kendra Miller. This is my number. Since they were little, like 3, they could recite my number. And so I actually don't think that I did the best job of balancing work-life balance. I was pretty driven to make this a successful career. And
well, they're alive.
Yeah.
They're alive. They're going to school. I think you did pretty good.
Look back, I do think that I always really put work first. But another thing that I would suggest is ask for help if you need it, whatever it is. I mean, we now have aging parents too, right? So I've got a little, I know we all have things, but don't hesitate to ask for help, whether it's from a loved one or a parent, maybe bring, I guess I would just say you'll have to find your own balance. But I don't know that it's totally possible. I feel like in real estate, it's really sort of you got to work when the work's there, and it's very difficult. But I will tell you one advice, and if I said this on a panel before, but sometimes I used to say, oh, no, I'm so sorry, I've got a conference, or it's my kid's baseball game, or, things that I wouldn't want to miss. And my husband said to me, people don't need to know what your appointment is. Just say you have an appointment. And that made it so easy for me. People say, oh, I'm sorry, I have an appointment from 4 to 6, but I'll call you at 8, right? Like, so.
Even vacation now, I say I'm traveling. I don't say I'm on vacation. I've changed the wording of that.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed I get treated with a different type of respect or whatever from the other side or whatever I'm doing within transaction, even from my clients, from the other agent, same. It's just I'm traveling. You don't know what I'm traveling for. I could be traveling for a funeral. I could be going to Tahiti and sipping margaritas. Who knows? But I'm traveling.
I tend not to say, if I'm going for 4 or 5 days, then it's like if Kendra was my client, I wouldn't say anything to Kendra. Then on the 3rd day, I would call Kendra and say, hey, we're doing good. I sent you this via email. Let me know if you have any questions or whatever.
Super timely.
I tried to call you yesterday. I said, I know, that's why I'm calling you back today, but I'm so sorry I had a meeting yesterday. And I won't tell them I'm on vacation unless they specifically ask on that 3rd day. Yeah, but I'll be back in 2 days. So it's it's a weekend thing. So I tend not to tell them until I'm 2 to 3 days into it, and then I'm gonna be back in 2 days. What's the big deal? So that works for me too.
I just want to comment on what Kendra said about the feeling you're having about having raised your kids. That is a gender bias because if a man worked 80 hours a week and wasn't at the baseball game or the volleyball game, it'd be okay because he's out earning, right? And if a woman does that, then somehow she was supposed to both be at the game and earn. So I think that's a little unfair.
Guilt is a common theme that I've heard. I've been to the Many's panel in the Valley, and balancing the guilt of what they feel that they're responsible for as a partner or a spouse or a mother or whatever the responsibilities are at home, also being full-time working and talking about how they kind of absolve some of that by, you know, being good people.
I'm sure your husband, when tax season comes, is very happy.
Yes. Any advice for any of the women here to help grow their confidence and leadership in the industry? Any direction you guys can point them in?
Mine is just real basic. Just know you're enough.
Mm.
Just accept it. Know when you stand flat foot and look in the mirror, know you're enough.
Mm.
If you stand on that, then you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Know who you are too. You guys all said that. Know who you are, right?
So
Yeah.
Situation I was
Yeah.
talking about when my ears were getting hot. I responded professionally and stern and just I didn't lean into when they said that you should probably calm down. We're just closing a day or two late. And I was just like, I just need to know why. So I have something to tell the sellers. That's all. And I was calm. We're closing on time now. I got what I
got what you needed.
No, there was no reason. So it was just, yeah. So just stand your ground, you know, like I'm totally myself. I stand my ground. I am a woman. I'm allowed to be one, but you don't have to use it against me.
Right.
No.
That's right.
So I think getting what you want is kind of a woman thing.
Yeah. And
all right.
no, but no one's using that for an advantage. You know what I mean? Like I'm not walking around like it's selling sunset in a
Right. Right.
haughty little skirt over here either, like some people might.
Right. Right.
So no.
All of you, confidence and negotiation goes hand in hand, right? Many of you are negotiating on a daily basis. Any tips and things like that that you have for the group? Maybe what's your number one tip in negotiating that you bring to the table, whether it's your deals or your life?
Well, I have the microphone. Do you guys mind? I'll just take this one. So, you know, Keller Williams has always talked about win-win. And I think you know, up here, it sounds good, but I do really think that if you can apply that in your negotiations, that everyone should leave feeling good about it, right? It never feels good when you're on the wrong end of a negotiation that didn't go well. I also would say that you have to put things in perspective, right? You know, that, you know, a few $1,000s in the scheme of the money that we're all talking about here in California is very small. Do not lose a deal over $5,000 or $3,000 because it will ultimately almost always cost you much more if you have the listing in terms of a future buyer and what you're going to get. And I do also think with the negotiation, I know this sounds so simple, but I do believe that the person who talks the most loses. So I would say, listen well, hear them out. If you interrupt them, they're just going to start all over again anyway. So those are my few tips.
My big tip is listening. Listen to what the other side has to say, whether you're calling to put in your offer and you're like, do you think they would consider 126? Listen to what they're coming back with, because the way you present it and the way you listen is going to help you get the most out of it. If they say, oh, they're really looking for full price, is different than they want a full price offer. And Kendra picked up and said, okay, 128 will probably do it. Then she's going to call me probably and say, I got him up to 128. Because it's all the way you present it and it's all the way you're listening. And she's right. A lot of times we don't listen enough and you totally miss it. Like agents call me all the time and say, well, I don't know how you price this property. I can't find a comp for it. Okay, it's going to be 1295 and here's your comp for 14. They totally lost the meaning of the call and what they were trying to do. So don't maybe a call where it's like, hey, I'm having a hard time getting my person over 125. What do you have that I could show them that could help me get up to that list?
Completely different.
Then it's like, okay, you've got this comp or this comp, or I don't have anything. Just do the best you can. Okay, maybe I can get it cheaper now. Again, it's listening and presentation.
And asking purposeful questions. I just got that from that too.
Right.
Knowing what you're trying to achieve by the question that you're asking before it even comes out of your mouth, right?
If I'm trying to figure out, okay, what can I offer for this property? I'm going to call Kendra and listen to everything she has to say.
Mhm.
She might come out and answer the phone and say, yeah, we're looking at offers. We have 3, but nothing at list price. Okay, probably not, but some agents.
I wouldn't give up that ghost.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They're all wrong.
But you see, sometimes you call an agent and they say that.
Yes.
Another time you call an agent and they say that, and it's like, okay, I can get a better deal with the other agent. So you have to listen.
And don't give up the ghost, right? I can't tell you how many times I get calls and they're like, well, they're here, but they really go here. Like, remember who you're representing?
And then
that's also not like, stay less, you know, like, I don't need to know everything.
the buyer sends an offer over for 126. No call, nothing. The next day they call. Did you get the offer? I'm like, yeah, the 126. Yes. Do you think they should go higher? Well, it's all like, I'm not going to call you if you send me an offer. Because if you think about it, you're going to sit there and think, well, maybe I didn't offer enough. She didn't call me. It's all about what you do, how you present your offer, or how you're representing your seller, or how you're representing your buyer. Our job is to get the seller the highest price or the buyer the best deal. So if I'm talking to you and you say, do we need to go higher? Like, who am I representing and who are you representing? So you got to remember that. It's not that I don't like you, it's I have a job to do. So it's like, you have got to do your job.
Do your job. Seems so simple.
Seems so simple. I mean,
Seems
you're lucky if you got the list agent on the phone too, and they have multiple offers.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, listen, hear them out. Be patient and quiet.
Any other comments you ladies have, things you want to share, things maybe you brought and wrote down? We'd love to have you share anything that you would like.
I mean, a fun fact I was just reading was, I think 76% of women in residential real estate now. Like, that's pretty cool. So a lot of the times, like, it is woman to woman on the phone, like list agent to buyer's agent. And it is the woman in a traditional family situation that's making the decision. The wife is the one that's like, I want the house. Like, you know, my recent listing, the husband sat in the living room the whole time and the wife was talking to me, and like, you know, it was just, it's always the wife making the decision, like a lot of the time, majority of the time. And then it's a woman realtor on both sides, and like, it's kind of cool. So we're more powerful than we believe, and I feel like it's like a takeover. Like, you can't even help it. Sorry, guys. So I do love that.
I think the only thing I have to add is just be respectful, because there's been times that I've been the listing agent on a property and I got a call from an agent and we were able to work through things, and then down the road that same agent was on the other side of a property and we've actually become friends. And I feel like a lot of times the myth in this industry is we don't get along, but I think we do. We do, if we really just say, hey, that's a colleague, that's a peer, that's someone that's on the other side of the table, because someone's going to have something you need down the road. And if you play nice in the sandbox and be respectful, we can do more business.
Your offers will get selected.
Yeah.
100%.
Such a good point. Such a good point.
It means a lot. Like, if I have a deal with Kendra, I'm going to call her and say, hey, I can't have you the CR tomorrow. Lender needs 2 more days. Is that okay? I'm so sorry. This is what is missing. They're trying to get the employment verification and they're slow over there, but they said they sent it out yesterday. So give her some information so she knows it's not coming. But it's like, even though we're friends, I still have an obligation to follow that contract. Don't think you're going to get, oh yeah, she's my friend. Because it's like, no, she has a job to do. So you've got to remember.
Communication is still extremely important, regardless of relationship.
And if I used to, I still like to make myself broke, which just sounds kind of funny, but you're going to do way better in this business if you make yourself broke. And I don't mean run up your credit cards. I mean, you make that $10,000 check, you put, $2,500 away for taxes in an account, and then put $2,500 in a CD that you can't touch for 6 months, and then you have $5,000 for your living expenses, which, crap, I already spent that. I have $300 left. That's exactly what I want, because you know what? You're going to be way more motivated if you have no money. Okay, so start putting it in a CD. All of you should have a SEP. A SEP was the best thing, a self-employed pension plan. That's the best thing you can do because you can't touch that money. So stick it in a SEP and be broke again and just have enough for your marketing. And you better make it to the next deal because you're not going to be able to make a car payment if you don't. And the more you do that to yourself, granted, if there was an emergency, yeah, you could take it out of the CD. But you don't want to take it out of a CD. You want to close a deal. So if there's no emergency, quit doing that. Put that money away, be broke, and go get your next deal because you'll be more motivated if you're broke. So stick it in a CD.
I love that motivation. How about you, Kendra? Any other comments?
No, I know we're winding down. You know, the only thing that I would tell you is I know that oh, maybe it helps. Okay.
It's for the Zoom. It's for the Zoom. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So, you know, and I'm sorry, I will say that like Allison, I believe in doing something and doing it consistently, right? It took me a full year of door knocking in my farm before I got my first listing. I mean, and that was every week going, right, to my farm. But I do want you to know that it's okay to change, right? So I'm now, this will be my 22nd year in August. I will have hit in real estate.
Congratulations.
And thank you. But I am now looking at my business a little differently, and I am trying things differently. Like I've decided, Allison and I have talked about it a little bit, that I'm going to stop chasing, right, every single person and every single deal, and that I really want to work with people that want to work with me. I closed a big deal earlier in the year. But I felt like at the listing, like I had to keep going back to them and following up and prove why they should hire me. And it didn't end up being one of the easiest. It wasn't an easy deal. We didn't really mesh, you know, and I think that I just really at this point want to work with people that see my value, see where I'm worth. And I guess what I'm saying is that it's okay to pivot. It's okay to change. It's okay to change how you want to do your business so that it meets your needs, makes you happy, and that for me, I just really want to work with people that I like and like me back.
Sometimes you have to let go of people. They're just too difficult. They expect something, and it's like you're $100,000 overpriced. That's not going to happen. You have to just look at it realistically and let it go. Let someone else have it for 6 months, and then send them an email at 4 or 5 months and say, "Hey, if you need anything, I'm here."
So true.
Let it go. You don't mesh with everybody.
Yeah,
that's great.
Because you need the money when you're new, and when you're doing business, you don't need the money so much.
Yeah.
There's also that thing in your head when you're new that you have to get everything. And when you've been doing it 20 years, you don't have to get everything because it's like you want to be happy too. So,
and I guess I might actually say that could be an attitude you could have at the beginning. I think back to all the people that I chased and followed, or maybe I was not, I mean, for the most part, I've really worked with people that I really like, but I think at the beginning you do feel that pressure. And I think if you can just give yourself some grace and say, it's okay, you know, there is enough business. You're not going to get it all. Focus on those that you really click with. You're going to have a better experience working with them. It's work, right? This isn't a hobby. It's work. It's meant to be hard, but at least if you really like those people that you're working with, it does, yeah, it's a little less stressful.
Because I'm coming up on 10 years and I definitely hit a mark around this 10-year mark where I'm like, okay, there's certain people that listed this year that didn't use me. And I remembered the buying part of working with this person. And I was like, I don't even care that they didn't use me. I was like, you know what? That's okay. Like, cause I kind of came home upset about it. And my husband was like, why are you upset? That was like the most terrible deal ever. Like, you didn't like working. You did not like working.
Forget about it though.
Working with everybody, but you didn't like working with that person. Why are you upset about this? I'm like, I'm actually not upset. You're right. Like, this is a blessing. I'm actually glad. And they sold it for way less than I could have got them. Like, we're talking like $175,000 less than what I could have got them. Like, and that's what made me sad. That's the only part that actually made me sad, but not working with the person. So I'm like, I'm getting to that point now where I'm like, the business side of it bothers me because I could have made them a lot of money, but I actually don't care for myself. So that was a cool thing that I hit this year. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I actually want to work with people that want to work with me too.
Mhm.
And I'm starting to accept that more. Like, and I think that's going to be better for all of us.
I think the longer you've been in business too, you learn.
Mhm.
So when you go on that appointment, and I'm sure you have this too, and I'm sure you do too, where you're like, oh no, not this one.
Like, I actually don't want you to call me and tell me that I got it, because I don't want it. I left one of those in January and I was like, mm-mm. Like, this, it's mutual, honey.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. Big round of applause for our amazing real estate agents. I appreciate you so greatly. Oh, sorry. Quick question. Okay, sorry. They want to ask questions. We got.
Take you to make your first debut.
Almost a year for me.
First 1 year.
Mine was 8 months, but I had somebody throw a scrap of paper on my desk and said, here, see if you can do anything with them. If they hadn't done that, it would have been 8 months, because from my farm was 8 months, but I sold that buyer and it was about 4 months, but I kind of consider that a gift. And then it's like, as soon as she saw it was in escrow, she's like, what? You know you owe me. Oh my God, did I just pay my bills first?
I had friends waiting for me to get licensed to buy. So I was right into transaction, almost like I was already on Redfin and stuff looking for properties for them. So I was a weird situation. I had 17 deals my first year. So I was like a cannonball. I came in swinging. So I was, yeah.
And mine was
Not normal.
7 months, and it was with a buyer that did not know what they wanted, going through the beginning stages of a divorce. And we didn't know them, they didn't know. And so they got in the house and she hated it from day one, ended up selling it in two years later. So I did.
Sorry, was there another question? And then we'll. Okay, great.
I've seen your very cool K,
Yeah, thanks.
right? And I know you from that. I don't see you in the office. You work from home?
Yes.
Can you talk about the setup at home and the challenges or the comfort of running your business from home?
Yeah, there was a period of time where I had an office then in my house. I had a little house. And then I had my first child and we moved the office to my dining room, which was not necessarily ideal. And then at some point, we did redo our home. And so I have what I call a sloffice, a sliver of an office. And it has been great because, I could hear my kids come home from school and I could kind of check in on them. And I really do enjoy being at home. But the flip side is that I do work a lot, right? The office is literally in my house and I have everything there. And so I work a lot because it's very easy to do that.
Good question. Yeah.
Allison, we've known each other for some time, and those in my group have heard me reference you, forever. Related to your farm in particular, like annually, how much business can you almost count on from your?
Probably 70% from my farm. Nice. But don't forget, you never know where that comes from. Sometimes somebody in your farm could have given you they're talking to their friend who lives in Norwalk, and then you get that listing. Well, it's not in your farm, but it's from your farm. So, you get stuff like that.
Good one.
Do you farm one city or?
Yes, I farm one city. I'm just Lakewood. I do farm Lakewood Village too, but that's it.
Nice question. All right. Anything else? Then we're going to do one more big round of applause. Thank you all very much. So powerful and inspiring. I appreciate you guys always sharing with the offices and jumping right in. James, what do you have for us? James.
That was
His
very,
clicker's not working. Okay.
that was very inspiring today to listen to the women panel. I'm sure you were all inspired just like I was. Also men are successful. What's the difference between successful men and successful women? Can anybody tell me?
What?
Most successful men are inspired by women, like wife or mother. But most successful women don't need a man inspiration. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that's what I noticed, But you know,
Insightful, Dave.
anyway, I just on the topic of inspiration, I want to get people starting on making more business. So I'm going to ask you something. How many of you lead generate every day? Okay, good. Very good. So for those of you who didn't raise their hand and are not lead generating, I want you to do something for me. Every day, I want you to connect with 10 different people, whether it was your sphere of influence, whether it was your neighbors, whether it was cold calling, whatever it is. Just talk to 10 different people every day and try to get business, whether it's selling a home or buying a home or getting a referral from that person you contact. Do this for a week, 10 contacts every day for a week, and keep track of your numbers and see what results are you going to make in the next team meeting. So please do that. For those of you who are not lead generating every day, talk to 10 different people, and you have to talk about real estate to 10 different people. Okay? And we'll talk again next week.
Good reminder. Thank you, James. Thank you. All right, let's bring up our affiliate partner, Sarah. What do you have for us? Pacific Coastline Escrow. Good.
Just to kind of piggyback off the panel, just as much as it's important to choose the right realtor, it's important to choose the right escrow. You know, customer service, I think, is so important in our industry. I hear horror stories all the time from our realtors. Actually, someone just told me the other day that the escrow company was like, here, docs, sign them, send them back. Like, that was it. So I think it's really important you have someone that can go through your documents with your clients, to explain the process with your clients, to make sure they understand what happens in escrow, how the process works. You know, everyone's always confused on what's funding, what's recording, you know, how does it work? So I do think it's so important. I really do strive to make sure my customer service is as big as possible, make sure the detail is there. Clients come back all the time needing stuff after close of escrow, and I'm happy to help them. There's a lot of escrow companies that'll be like, sorry, you know, you're going to have to deal with that. You call the assessor, you know, but I'm always happy to take those questions, help those clients, assist them in any way I can, whether it's before, during, or after escrow. So please keep us in mind when you're opening your escrows. You know, I get a lot of stuff on the buy side too. We get for sale by owners sometimes too. And you guys have the buyer, there's no one representing the sellers. So just keep us in mind. Let me know whatever I can do to help your business. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. Doug. Yeah.
I've been in the industry only like 7 years, but long enough to part of the escrow. Pacific Coast is by far my favorite escrow I've ever used for my client's personal transaction, and she is not kidding. All your file, if you need something to go back to your insurance policy, whatever it may be.
So important.
By far the best escrow I've ever worked with.
Oh, thanks, Rich. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Rich. All right, Doug and Zaman, what do you have for us?
Great panel, huh? I saw a lot of conscientiousness in there, right?
Yes.
Like really conscious about what they're doing. Hey, we just want to drop some cool marketing ideas with you real quick. You guys have heard of Altos Research. You probably have seen it, but if you're looking for something to send to your clients, very simple, very easy. We can sign you up for a free account. And there's a lot of reports you can use. For instance, you're talking to someone who's going to buy in another state. There's national data for that other area. You can always go to the Keller Williams and find home stuff, but get market data for the other area. When you go to your listing appointment, take it with you. You get real-time marketing stuff you can send to your clients. You log in, you put in whatever city you want. So we put some reports in here. We put in Los Al, we put in Seal Beach, Lakewood, Long Beach. You can do the county. So you got a client that wants to know what's the market doing in the county. You can send that to them. But it's very simple to do. You log in, you click on the county you want. It's going to pull up the market data, which is done weekly, and it's done through the MLS. So it's going to show pendings and sales and whole things off market, et cetera, that are being held off the market. So it really gives you a good idea of what the market's doing. It's going to show you a buyer-seller's schematic. So that way, if you're going to go on a listing appointment or doing a price reduction, you can see what are there more buyers, more sellers, more inventory, less inventory. Really easy to use. Just go on click on the share button. From there, you can just send out. You can print it out for your presentation, or you can share it through social media or email that way as well too. So we put it in here for you. And of course, if there's anything you need in your title, we're here to help you. Zaman's here on our team. He works with all of our clients on all the tools that we work with as well too. So our NetSheet app, Farm app, etc. And As Sarah, same thing too. I know a lot of times we work with Sarah on files. There's a lot of after closing stuff that we do, but there's also a lot of prior to opening stuff that we do. So when our clients are getting a listing, either we're looking at it. I had one yesterday where the person on the taxes was never in title. Like, how could that possibly happen? This person's never been on title. They're showing the owner the taxes, even with the county, not just in Realist or a data. What happened was there was a probate, and somehow the probate information, the court case went to the assessor, and they did it. So it's the first time I've seen that. But those things have to kind of be fixed before we can close. Like, what happened here? You know, so we don't know what's going on. So a lot of times we're working on a lot of things. And that's what's great about Sarah. We work on that together. We put our teams together. We clean that stuff up for you. So anything you're working on, let us know ahead of time, and we'll help you with anything that could arise so you have a nice, smooth closing.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. All right, Alex, let's take a look at the rates. What do you have for us?
Everybody, afternoon. Still pretty standard rates that we've seen over the last month or so. Conventional in the low sixes, FHA in the high fives, jumbo in the mid fives, or the mid sixes, excuse me. They've been pretty steady, right? The Fed didn't raise rates last week. They kept them steady. Probably a couple more times this year. They're looking to drop them down, but you know, these are buying rates. People are buying, people are calling, people are okay with these. Every time I talk to them, I'm not getting the, oh my God, that's so high anymore. So keep that in mind. I just want to continue to stress, remember the benefits of the broker, right? It's not just these loans at all. It's not just your conventional, your FHA, your jumbo, right? I get calls on reverse mortgages all the time. I get called on construction loans all the time. I get called on HELOCs and seconds. My client wants to put an ADU in the back of their house and they're using a HELOC to build it. And then we're going to turn that HELOC into a fixed second and the kids are moving in and they're going to start paying the payment. That's all in after the original loan stuff. So the benefits of the broker is we have such a wider breadth, right? Our rates are lower. We have a much wider breadth. We're here. We're self-employed. Loans don't get set on our desk, right? We have to fight for them and we'll fight for your clients. So keep that in mind. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. All right, let's take a look at our upcoming events. Doug has a class, Command Tech, customize your KW Command website with ease. The new websites have a lot more customization than they have before. So join Dougie for his session Thursday at 10 a.m. Simon's going to be reviewing Rent Spree and Your Business. Rent Spree is a program that is through your local boards that you have access to. A great program that can help you if you're helping renters or representing the landlords of these. So Simon's going to be going over Rent Spree, how you can use it and utilize it at a very high power. That's happening on Friday. And that's it. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you.
The advice that you give for the open house when raising.
I asked you how it went. Did it go well, your open house?
Yeah, I got 10 contacts that I've been adding them to command.
I love, do you not do open houses over in Turkey? Not do open houses?
No.
Oh, really?
It was my really first.
That's amazing. You know, it was one of my favorite regenerative things when I first started here. Because think about it, every time you're sitting in a house, you have an opportunity for someone to walk on the street and say, I need to buy a home, or I need to sell my home. Yeah. And it's so, I love this. Yeah. It was like all the investing in at the time or whatever, right?
And they're directly interested in real estate.
Yes. So.
I also made sure not to bring a lot of brochures. This way they had to sign up to get anything.
It's halftime.
Good. That's a good idea.
Time to open the fridge.
So thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. I'm glad to hear that it went well.
I don't know. So my video of me putting the signs up.
No, show me. Hang on. I'm trying to end the Zoom here.
For some reason, you got a lot of things.
Hang on one second. I'm
Yeah.
trying to end the Zoom.